Good day in Davao, dear friends. As you know, in September 2019, the United Nations General Assembly launched what we know as the Decade of Action to deliver the Sustainable Development Goals. The idea was to make sure that governments and societies from all over the world concentrate their efforts in this sort of extra mile to achieve the SDGs by 2030. But as soon as we launched the Decade of Action, the COVID-19 pandemic hit our efforts, taking 3 million lives, robbing millions of people of their livelihoods, and sending countless young people, like you, into lockdown. Many of the hard-won development gains on poverty eradication, on education, on gender equality have been put at risk, and in many cases even have been reversed. Pre-existing inequalities have been exacerbated, particularly within the most marginalized. You don't need at this stage that I explain how this legacy is affecting you as youth. But as in any crisis, we have always something to learn. And I believe that these lessons are important for the next generation of leaders and decision makers. The first lesson is that we live in a highly interrelated world. The system on which we depend, food, health, trade, and climate, are closely interdependent. For instance, any decision on the way we consume food will have an impact on health, on the economy, on the environment. And capturing this complexity will be fundamental to reshape a sustainable and inclusive planet. The second lesson is that the magnitude and complexity of today's development challenges are exceeding the capacity of response of any single player, any single country. No one can address them alone. No one. And the COVID-19 pandemic is showing that. We say these days that nobody is safe until everyone is safe. So, solidarity and cooperation are becoming key drivers of the development agenda. And in my area of work as a resident coordinator, this is reflected in a new refreshing push for more multilateralism, which is in fact a new push for the SDGs. Finally, and this is the most obvious lessons to learn from COVID-19, is that prevention is better than cure. We have to admit that our generation has failed in preventing this pandemic, particularly decision makers, because we were not able to timely apply the thousands and thousands of handbooks, policies, and protocols on prevention. Prevention of conflict, prevention of climate emergency, prevention of financial crisis, prevention of gender-based violence, prevention of pandemics. And prevention, as we know, is not just risk analysis, early warning, and preparedness. Prevention is more than that. Prevention requires, first of all, a vision, a horizon. It requires understanding that any investment we make today, it will have an impact on future generations. Prevention is a great demonstration of our solidarity with the next generation. We prevent to protect and to make this planet more sustainable. So your work today and your engagement with the SDGs from Davao is part of this lessons learned exercise. And I congratulate you for your commitment with the 2030 Agenda, which is in fact the first ever global agenda in human history. I therefore urge all of you to use your power in your schools, your workplaces, and your online communities to advocate for the 17 SDGs, for a more inclusive, and sustainable world. And given the circumstances of COVID-19, you have to come up strongly because your voice and your actions should shape a better present and a better future. As Bob Marley said, you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Thank you.